Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gavv, Episode 3. So we begin this tale with this fledgling, this part-timer, giving her last month's harvest, her payment to this stomach soldier, and all of a sudden, Gavv shows up with her twin and tells this fledgling, this part-timer, is that another part-timer has mysteriously disappeared. So she asks this particular part-timer that, hey, this part-timer disappeared. Do you want his shifts? And if you want this shifts, it means more dark treats for you. What do you say? And of course she says yes. And she takes over the shift. And she takes her payment. And we get to the scene where she opens her payment. And we see not a boatload, but a handful of dark treats. And she eats one of them. So that's the end of that. And then we get to Shita, and she shows the picture to her sister, and she asks, do you know this, this Kamen Rider, this being, whatever, do you know who this is? And she was like, I don't know who this person is. Is it a human? And both of them stare at each other and be like, nah, it can't be. So the twins has dispatched a stomach soldier, and pretty much to do a mission, spy, and keep a watchful eye for this human or whatever this person is on this picture. Just be on the lookout and give me some news. So we get to the next scene where Shoma, this time, he's not at a side of the road, collapse and all that, starving to death. And you see this poor kid, the king of sweets, the king of sugar and diabetes, is on his last leg of his monies. And he's at a temple, and he just stares at his last bit of yen and stares at the shop and be like, well, this is my last bit of money I have, so I'm gonna spend it on more gummies, which he does. And you know the expression of don't cry over spilled milk? Well, in this case, don't cry over spilled gummies, because that's exactly what happened. Because Shoma ripped the bag full of gummies, and it got spilled all over the ground, and it hit this strange man, and then this man was angry, like, hey, why, like, what did you do, like, and all that. It's like he got pissed off because of the gummies, of the gummy shower. And then before Shoma could say anything, he ends up collapsing. So again, this has started to become a trend of Shoma just collapsing, collapsing of hunger. Only this time he didn't appear, that he collapsed, because for the past 2 episodes that he was on the ground somewhere dying of hunger. And, you had a child, you have a woman poking at the corpse and making sure that he is alive, but of course he is starving. Only this time in this episode, he was walking about, but then hunger came in and he just collapses. And these kids were watching this unfold, and they just run away, assuming that this man did something to Shoma. I find it to be funny. In a temple, nonetheless. Well, outside of the temple. So we get to the next scene after the opening credits. Shoma gets fed. Shoma gets fed. And thanks to this man, which, by the way, by the end of this episode, we still don't know who this guy is by name. So I will call him stranger or man or whatever. If you guys seen the episode, you guys already know. So the stranger gives him a bento to eat, and Shoma is, delighted to eat, of course. And this is the first time he ever ate a seaweed bento. And he's eating it, and after he was done eating, he shows up his food diary. And the stranger, this man, was like, wait a minute, hold on. I see nothing but junk food. Have you been eating nothing but junk food? Well, no, that's not the case. And Shoma turns the page, and he wrote down all the other stuff other than junk food he ate. And it's funny because when it comes to normal food, he just writes it down on his journal. But when it comes to junk food, sweets, and chips, whatever, you see like a full page of not just the writing, but also like parts of the bag, and glues them in the page. And I'm like, damn, man. And I find it to be funny because after looking at this food diary, the man just lectures Shoma like, hey, you cannot just eat junk food. They're unhealthy for you. The reason why you keep collapsing from hunger is because you eat nothing but junk food. You need your meats. You need your carbs. You need your veggies, man. You can't just eat junk food. Junk food is meant to, sustain you quite a bit until you really go out and eat something, kid. It's when you feel like it's a snack for a reason. So that's the main reason why he kept collapsing, because he doesn't eat properly. He just eats nothing but junk food and sweets. It's not right. So after finishing his bento and the extra stuff that this man, gave him, an energized Shoma spots, workers, trying to, pick up a pillar or a block or whatever it was. They were construction workers, and all of a sudden he decides to jump in there and pick up this black rectangle thing and plays it on the truck, and everybody was like, whoa, this kid is super strong. Even this dude, the man, was like, oh, damn, I mean, what are you, a freak of nature or something? How can you be that strong? So this is where, this man directly asks Shoma, hey, are you interested in the job? Because I need help with something, and I'm willing to pay you for it. And Shoma, unwittingly agrees without asking questions. But even though he did ask, like, what kind of job is it? The man says, well, it's gonna help me greatly. You're gonna get paid greatly. You'll be helping me, seriously. So, and Shoma was like, oh, okay, it's fine. So he's just like gullibly accepts the job offer. And then as the two boys leave, we see a glimpse of the food truck, and guess who was cooking in the food truck? That evil fledgling from the first scene of this episode. Damn. This fledgling can cook a mighty bento, but man, she has a side job of collecting and eating dark treats. For shame, bento lady, for shame. So we move on from the evil bento lady to Hanto, and he's at the office of his boss and shows off the picture from last week, assuming that at least one of them is the monster that attacked his mom 10 years ago, 18 years ago, whatever. And the boss said this, okay, first of all, you cannot assume that this monster is the same monster that attacked your mother. You can't assume anything without hard proof and evidence. And he's right. And also he asked another important question, which is, okay, So once you prove that such and such is the monster you've been searching for, what would you do when you find him? And Hanto, was like, I don't know. So that's a question that Hanto has to answer eventually in the next couple of episodes. Would he turn into rage after seeing this monster? I don't know. So we move on from there to oh, this is a funny scene, guys. So Shoma and this man are dressed up, and they go visit this man's house, and apparently, the job was to fix, the owner's plumbing and whatnot, but it turns out to be a robbery than an actual real job. Because the man staged something that, hey, Shoma, I hear that Mr. Such and Such is hurt. Can you, break into this? Can we break into the house? Which Shoma gullibly does. And Shoma, being the hero that he is frantically searching for this man, while this other man, the thief, I will call him the thief now, went into his office and breaks into, his vault to steal all his money. And when Shoma enters the office, Shoma's like, wait a minute, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you stealing from this guy's house? Like, what's going on here? And of course, the thief never gave a good explanation until Shoma realized that, hey, you're stealing. So he tries his best to take the money away from him and put it back, but of course the thief was like, no, we're not putting this back, until Shoma decides, okay, have it your way, and picks him up and takes him far away from the house as possible while his minions were cleaning up the scene of the crime. Not only that, the minions help with getting information to helping Shoma transform into a Kamen Rider, but they're also good at cleaning. Oh, these little candy minions. Oh my god, they're so useful, aren't they? So after Shoma quickly leaves the scene of the crime before he gets caught and arrested, I'm surprised that the house didn't have any alarms, but consider that lucky, I guess. Hanto shows up at the Handyman Happy Parade building, and apparently Hanto knows the owner of the building, Sachika, and we see Sachika with her friend from last week, Rit. If I pronounce her name wrong, I do apologize. And he asked the women, hey, have you seen, I have this picture. Have you seen any these monsters, whatever? And the reason why Hanto was there is apparently Shinka has the ability to search into the net and be able to, do internet stuff rather quickly and give Hanto information, whatnot. That's why he went there for help. Not only that, Rent was there to confirm that, yeah, I met this Kamen Rider and this monster. I think it either was the same monster that attacked her or a different monster. If it was a different monster, then that's off the table. But if it was the same monster that attacked her, then yes, she was there to confirm that, yes, this is a Kamen Rider. He's not really a monster because this monster saved me. And she was explaining her story from last week to Hanto. And Hanto asked these girls, more specifically Sachika, can you help me with this? And if there's any, if there's anything online that can help me, please reach out to me. And that was it. So we move off from the happy dandy, building. We move to Shoma and the thief. And Shoma asks a blunt, direct question of, why are you a thief? Why are you doing this? And this thief explains that the reason why he's robbing people is because that his pops, air quotes, helped him, helped him off the streets, gave him a job, and now his company is closing because due to bankruptcy, I guess. I don't know. They were losing money, and pops have no choice but to close down shop. And this man is resorting to robbing people of their money in order to save the business. And so Shoma was like, well, this is not right. It's not the right thing to do. I know where you're coming from, but this isn't the way, which causes the man to be, grabbing Shoma by the neck and by the sweater and be like, well, I helped you, get fed. Now it's your turn to help me, with this problem. And Shoma asked him a very, heart-wrenching question to this man, and asked, like, so the reason that you helped me, get fed is because you wanted a favor from me to help you steal? Is that the main reason why you helped me? And without saying anything, it was like this, oh crap, he caught me moment. So this man just lets go of Shoma and just angrily just leaves. You know what? Forget it. Don't help me. I will find a way myself. You're a relief of your duties. Forget it. Screw you. And he angrily leaves. And Shoma's like, wait. And he's sad. And later on in the next scene, he felt like he doesn't know what to do. Like, I don't know. But before I get too ahead of myself, Shoma grabs one of his minions, his gummy minion, and asks it, hey, can you follow him? Because I'm very concerned about him right now. So he does. So we move on to the Shoma following the thief, making sure that he's okay. The man goes back to the food truck where he bought Shoma the bento and the other stuff. However, this time you see the truck wide open from the back, and he just a little bit reluctant at first, but he just goes inside the truck and tries to steal the money from inside. And as he was grabbing the money, he was all happy knowing that this money could be enough to, save his pop's business, which, by the way, it's a factory. It takes a lot more than that to really save the company, but I digress. So as he was happy to see all this money, the evil bento lady turns this thief into a harvest for the dark treats. And so, speaking of the dark treats, we get to the next scene with one of the members of the stomach family virus, and we get a glimpse of how the dark treats are created, and it's due to the kidnapped humans that have been turned into a harvest. The reason why the family is kidnapping humans, it's because of their spice. And the more unique spice a human has, the more tastier the dark treat will be. So they're nothing more than, I don't know, food for the like ingredients. They're nothing more than ingredients to create the dark treats. So now we know the origins of these dark treats, these how you say, the crack version of, whatever, but yeah. They're making the candy version of crack. So we move off from the origins of the dark treats to Shoma once again, and like I mentioned earlier, he is conflicted because Shoma has a heart of gold. He wants to help people, but he never been in a situation where you have a human who is very desperate to save someone's company, but he is resort to stealing other people's money in order to save it. And Shoma is in a situation where he does not know what to do. Like, he wants to help, but he doesn't know how. And so he ends up eating one of the gummies, of soda flavored gummy. He eats it and he creates a soda minion and begins to talk with it. He doesn't know what to do. And then we have the gummy minion, running back to Shoma to give him the news of what happened. And we immediately cut with, Shoma on the motorcycle, cutting, blocking the evil bento woman's truck. and so the evil bento lady and Shoma meet. And Shoma is really sad because he even said, like, I can't believe you're working for the Stomach family and your bento meals are great. Like, he's so disappointed. He's so sad that he has to kill this fledgling that cooks great bento. Yeah, I feel bad for Shoma. Like, it's bad enough that people call him a monster every time he saves them, but he has to kill, like, one of his kind that makes good food. I feel bad for this kid. I really do. Anyway, so the fight begins. And as the fight between Shoma and the evil bento woman, commences, we have Hanto, who receives word from Shinaka that, hey, there is a monster fight in the Mikano world. Go over there. So he does. And guess what? He sees the fight and records. And he's like, oh my god, it's the Kamen Rider and a new monster. Oh my god. So during the fight, with Shoma, with his basic form and his chip form, none of those forms are causing any damage towards the evil bento woman. So this is where Shoma has his soda minion and decides to use it. However, this form is different because instead of getting a complete form, he ends up getting an Infinity Gauntlet version, an Infinity Gauntlet, a soda form. So he gets a giant gauntlet, made of soda, and before he ends up punching her into oblivion, he does his traditional thing of give up the dark treats or I will punch you into oblivion. And of course, the bento woman refuses to give up such a dark treat. So she ends up getting destroyed. And, the man, the stranger, the thief, is rescued. He's turned back into a human. And of course, he gets the monster treatment. And Shoma says, be good, be good, and he leaves. However, as Shoma tries to escape, he encounters Hanto, and Hanto asks Shoma, are you human? But before Shoma can even answer his question, here comes a man with a cane, which I forgot to mention. After he destroys the evil bento woman, there was a scene with the minions cheering Shoma, and you see feet. You see feet in a cane. So a man with a cane picks up two minions, and I assume that he took two of them, and then we see the same man. Only this time we see his face, and he asks a direct question. Are you, let me see, I want to pronounce it right. Are you granute? Are you a granute, or are you a different species of alien? And this is where Shoma was very alarmed, because not only that he knows this man with the cane, knows his kind, he's like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't want to get, experimented. Which, by the way, the man with the cane says, if you are a specific alien, if you're an alien, I need to examine you, to experiment on you. And of course, Shoma's like, no way in hell. But Hanto was there, and he was arguing with this man with the cane, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And they're fighting of who gets to keep Shoma, and Shoma was smart enough to use this distraction to escape. And we get a little bit of information of what this man is, and he says to Hanto that I am a Gavv researcher. And I strongly believe that this researcher is going to help Hanto to become the second Kamen Rider. It only makes sense, right? So yeah, I assume that Hanto is going to help this researcher, because I believe that he thinks that this man is going to lead him to the monster, because he's researching aliens. And the monster that killed his mom is an alien. So it makes sense for those two to work together and give Hanto, his driver, his manufacturer, Gavv, his second stomach. And so we move on from, the Gavv researcher and Hanto fighting. We move to the last two scenes. The first scene is pretty sad, because you get to see the thief in his uniform in the factory, and his pops is announcing that, I am sorry to do this, but I had to close down shop. We don't have the means to keep it open. I have to let you guys go. And the man is so disappointed in himself that, I'm sorry that I didn't help to save your business after everything you have done for me. And Pops was telling his worker that, dude, I didn't hire you, pick you up from the streets and seeking, like a favor or something. I did it out of the kindness of my heart. He didn't actually said that, but we all know that he did it because I wanted to help this person who's been on the streets for so long, and I will give you a job, a place to stay, and I don't need any favors. And and Pops asked his son, air quotes, to let's go to Mr. Yamada at his house and let's apologize. So I'm guessing the son, air quotes, told his pops, air quotes, about what happened at that house. That he tried to steal his money. But, yeah. And then we get to the last scene with the stomach soldier with a phone recording of everything that happened during the fight between the evil bento woman and Shoma. And then they made a discovery that the Gavv that he has around his waist is a red one. So the twins are shocked to see a red Gavv, but I'm sure they know who is the owner of the red Gavv. So yeah, they're in shock right now, and I think they know who this guy is. And that's it, guys. That's the end of the episode. Another good episode. It has a good moral to the story, because you see Shoma, who's still new to this world and quickly picks up, everything. And he needs to understand that he cannot keep eating junk food, because he's going to keep collapsing. And I'm glad this stranger is telling him that you can't eat just junk food alone. You need normal everyday food, like proteins, veggies, carbs, that stuff. And to see Shoma be feeling conflicted, not conflicted, but more so like he doesn't know what to do. Because normally for the past 2 episodes, he kind of knows what to do to help the situation and fix the problem. But in this case, in this episode, he's like, I don't know what to do. Because, I understand his case. He is desperate. He wants to help his father from closing shop. But, becoming a thief and stealing people's money, and it's not right. So he's just at that point where he's like, I don't know what to do. This is where he is stumped. But this is one time that Shoma didn't really save the day, because usually when he saves the day, aside from destroying the monster and whatnot, he usually helps people with, remember with Sachika and her job, and also in the first episode about the mom and the son and that sort of thing. But this time Shoma didn't know what to do at this point, but he was stumped. But he did save the day. I'll give him that, but it was more of a bittersweet type of save. We now know the origins of the dark treats as to why the family is abducting humans. And yeah, I think that is it, guys. I mean, the form is nothing more than a giant soda gauntlet. Nothing more, nothing less. And a strong moral of the story, a sad one, but it is what it is on that. And that's all I got to say about that, kids. I mean, I'm stumped. I don't know what to say now. But other than that, give me your thoughts and opinions of episode 3. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? If you dislike it, what would you change? And even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things. Oh, I also forgot to mention too that Hanto, he knows Shinika, which I was surprised. Oh, you guys know each other? Oh, I didn't know that. And this mysterious man with the cane, he's a Gavv researcher. So it's going to be interesting how he fits into this situation. But we all know that he's going to be responsible for giving Hanto his driver. We all know that. But yeah, I think that is it. And the eventual encounter between Shoma and Hanto, and I'm sure Hanto or Shoma is gonna stick out his hand and ask, hey, can you help me find so-and-so, because I need to find this monster because he killed my mother. Can you help me? And then they're gonna work together and venture off as usual. Alright, in any case, thank you so much for listening. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!